You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report, podcast number 250.1. Can't believe 250 straight days of podcasting. The Central Indiana Scoreboard Show, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana with some major national sports news, basically a sports section in audio form.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. We love it that you decided to spend part of your day with us. Today is April 29, 2025. It's a Tuesday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengel, and I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School. Producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, we look ahead to the Pacers Game 5 against the Milwaukee Bucks, and we have Monday's NBA and NHL playoff results. The Reds are on fire, plus lots and lots of local high school and college baseball, softball, golf, and tennis. Hey, would you do us a huge favor and go to our YouTube page? Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. It's easy to find, and subscribe. It would help us out an awful lot. We released the IU report this morning at 5 a.m. We had to switch nights for the IU and Colts report. So the Colts report, wrapping up their draft with Eli Edwards, will be out first thing Wednesday morning. So first thing Wednesday morning, you can expect a Colts report, assuming everything goes to plan, which doesn't always happen. The Pacers look to end the Milwaukee Bucks season for the second year in a row Tuesday at the Fieldhouse. The Pacers won Game 4 Sunday by 26 points to take a commanding lead in the series. The Pacers have been in charge of the series almost the entire way, leading start to finish in all three wins and actually leading most of the loss in the first half. Tuesday's 26 margin was the seventh largest blowout in Pacers playoff history. 8 different Pacers are averaging at least 8 points per game in the series, led by Pascal Siakam's 22.3 points per game. Miles Turner, Tyrese Halliburton, and Andrew Nembhard are all averaging 15. Bucks star Damian Lillard is done for the year and probably beyond with a torn Achilles. Benedict Mathurin is questionable for the Pacers. He had concussion-like symptoms after a collision with Giannis in Game 3, according to the Indianapolis Stars' Dustin Dobriak. Aaron Nesmith is also listed as questionable with back soreness, but is expected to play. If Indiana wins this one, they will likely start their next series against the Cleveland Cavaliers on Saturday. That's the first possible date the series could start, and with both teams being potentially done early, it seems likely, of course, they have to win Tuesday's game first, and I probably shouldn't even be talking like this. We will have a full recap of Game 5 on Wednesday morning. The Cavs embarrassed the Miami Heat for the fourth straight game, beating them by 55 points and winning the 4-game series by more points than any team in NBA playoff series in 4 games. More appropriately, Miami lost by more than any points in a 4-game series. That franchise is in deep trouble, just like the Milwaukee Bucks. The Cavs led 73-33 at the half on Monday. The Warriors and Rockets played another thriller Monday in San Francisco. The Warriors trailed 57-50 at the half, but Jimmy Butler finished with 27 points, and Brandon Pajemski scored 26 points off the bench in Golden State's 109-106 win that gives them a 3-1 series lead. The Pacers-Bucks game Tuesday is the first of 4. It starts at 6 o'clock and can be seen on NBA TV and the FanDuel network. At 7:30 on TNT, the Knicks will try to eliminate the Pistons at Madison Square Garden. At 8:30 on NBA TV, the world champion Celtics will look to eliminate Orlando in Boston. In the final game of the night, the Clippers and Nuggets will break a 2-2 tie in Game 5 in Denver. That's on TNT at 10 o'clock. Looking forward to that one. In the NHL playoffs, the Florida Panthers took a big step in their title defense with a 4-2 win over Tampa Monday in Miami. Florida now leads the series 3-1. The Dallas Stars are a game away from advancing after Monday's 6-2 win over 2022 Stanley Cup champion Colorado. The Stars scored the game's first 3 goals Monday and can win the series Thursday in Denver. There are also 4 NHL playoff games Tuesday. 2 of them are potential elimination games in the East. The Leafs can advance with a home win against the Senators, and the Devils will look to stave off elimination in Carolina. Leafs Senators is at 7 on ESPN, Devils Hurricanes at 7:30 on TBS and Max. The other 2 series are tied at 2-2. Minnesota's at Vegas at 9:30 on ESPN, and reigning Western Conference champion Edmonton is in LA at 10 on TBS and the Max app. The Cincinnati Reds got their third straight gem and beat the Cardinals 3-1 Monday. This time it was Nick Martinez who threw 6 strong innings, allowing just 1 run. That came in the first inning. Jose Trevino tied the game with a home run in the third. Novelty Marte, who's now batting .370, tripled to score Gavin Lux with the go-ahead run in the fourth. And in the sixth, Lux doubled home Austin Hayes with the game's final run. Lux is now batting .352 and Hayes .365. The Reds and Cardinals were the only team that played in the NL Central on Monday. Cincinnati is now within a game of the Cubs at the top of the division, with the Brewers 3 games back, the Cardinals 5 behind, and the Pirates 6 back for the division lead. Now for the best news and note sections in Central Indiana sports podcasting. IU has added another player through the transfer portal. Josh Harris is a 6'8 forward from Pembroke Pines, Florida. Harris averaged 13.4 points, 7.1 rebounds, in 22 and a half minutes a game last year at North Florida. He's the 10th player added to the Hoosiers roster and the second from North Florida, joining guard Josiah Miles. Grant Schaus and I talked about the additions of Jason Drake, and on Tuesday morning, Grant Schaus and I talked about the IU basketball roster before the Harris announcement. That's podcast number 249.3. Oak Hill senior Grant Cates was named the Indiana Swimming and Diving Athlete of the Year Sunday evening at the Indiana High School Sports Awards, sponsored by the Indianapolis Star. The SMU recruit was the state champion diver in 2025, setting a new state record with 655.95 points in the 1-meter diving event. Yorktown's Miss Volleyball Charlotte Vincent has been selected for Team USA's Under-19 Girls World Championships. The team will compete in some cities that I cannot pronounce in Croatia and Serbia against teams from Turkey, Bulgaria, Poland, Peru, and Spain. Training begins June 1st in Colorado Springs. Roncalli's Logan Bell was also selected for the team. Former Pendleton Heights football star Eli Penkel has agreed to a deal with the Jacksonville Jaguars as an undrafted free agent. Penkel caught 9 TD passes last year at Duke. Kate Hughes will return to Muncie Central to be the volleyball head coach after coaching the Bearcats from 2018 to 21. She was also part of Coach Wes Lyons' coaching staff when Central won the state championship in 2009. State championship basketball coach Eli Henson is reportedly leaving Manchester for Tippecanoe Valley, where he'll replace Joe Luce as head coach. Henson won 84 games in 5 seasons at Manchester, and of course the 2025 Class 2A state championship. Former Cathedral and Evansville Aces star Tayshawn Comer is transferring to Nevada, where he'll play for former IU star Steve Alford. Comer spent the last 3 seasons at Evansville and averaged 16.2 points, 4.1 assists, and 3.7 rebounds as a junior at Evansville last year. Mr. Basketball finalist Desmond Briscoe from Crispus Attucks has announced that he will continue his basketball career at Kent in Ohio. Briscoe had committed to Iowa, but changed his mind when Iowa head coach Fran McCaffrey was fired. IUK's women basketball program has signed Tri-West Lauren Bear. She averaged 18 points per game as a senior last year. And Ball State has landed Dodge City Community College defensive tackle Spencer Vaca. The 6'2", 265-pound Vaca had 2.5 sacks and 3.5 tackles for loss in 9 games last year. Former Ball State great Trenner O'Donnell was named Carolina League Pitcher of the Week for the Salem Red Sox. The Muncie Star Press is named Monroe Central's Easton Foster its boys basketball player of the year. The others on the first team are Wapahani's Camden Bell and Nate Luce, Delta's Jordan Fernie, and West Del's Josiah Love. Monroe Central's Brian Klein was the Star Press Coach of the Year. Blackford's Mari Leggett was the Freshman of the Year. And Monroe Central's Tayshawn Beatty was the sixth man. Foster was also named Defensive Player of the Year and voted Player of the Year by the Star Press readers. The Frankton, Mississinawa baseball and softball games that were postponed last week have been rescheduled for Tuesday, May 20th. Varsity only, and first pitch is scheduled for 5:30 in both games. We've got lots of high school baseball, softball, tennis, and golf for you, and we start on the baseball fields. Alexandria improved to 10-4 after Monday's 10-0 win over Tipton. Grayson Gaines and Jackson Brizendine allowed just 2 hits combined in the shutout performance. Adrian Smith had 4 RBIs for the Tigers. Aiden Gibson had a double for the 3-9 Blue Devils. Madison Grant got a much-needed win, 15-9 over Marion. The Argyles led 13-2 after 3 innings. Xavier Yehi had 2 hits, including a triple, and scored 3 times. And Trip Hazley had 4 RBIs for the Argyles. Madison Grant is now 7-4. Tayshawn Inman went 3 for 4 with a triple, a home run, and 4 RBIs for the winless Giants. Sean Jarrett hit a double and a grand slam and drove in 6 runs in Friday's 18-5 win over Sheridan. Kane Oakley was 2 for 4 with 4 runs and 4 RBIs, and Riley Inglis was 2 for 2 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Brady Carmack was also 2 for 4 and scored twice in the Eagles' 3rd win of the season. West Dell scored 8 times in the 7th and left Elwood with a 20-17 win. Eli Sherfy had 6 RBIs for the Warriors, and A.J. Flanagan had a triple and 5 RBIs for 2-10 Elwood. Jaden McNulty had a strong pitching performance, and Western beat Oak Hill 8-4. McNulty allowed the Golden Eagles just 3 hits, and all 4 runs scored against him were unearned. He also struck out 7 for the 12-2 Panthers. Gavin Denton and Levi Shoemaker had 2 hits each, scored 2 runs, and drove in 2 runs. Aiden Pierce was 3 for 3 with an RBI for 6-7 Oak Hill. In his first outing after pitching a no-hitter last Tuesday against Muncie Central, Kokomo's Isaac Flamino allowed just 1 hit in Monday's 3-0 win over Richmond. Flamino walked just 2 and struck out 10. The Wildcats are now 7-4 overall and 4-1 in the North Central Conference. Zane Klein was 3 for 3 with a double and 2 home runs, scored 4 times and drove in 7 in Delta's 23-2 win over Muncie Central. Klein had plenty of help. Everett Lynn was 4 for 4 with a double and 3 RBIs and crossed home plate 4 times. The Eagles are 7-4 and have won 6 straight. Wapahani won for the 6th time in its last 7 games with a 9-4 win over Yorktown. Grayson Acosta had a double and 4 RBIs for the 7-4 Raiders. Ryan Burkholder drove in 3 for the 5-7 Tigers. A.J. Nunley went 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and scored twice and got his 100th career hit in Lapel's 25-1 win over Shenandoah. Ray Smith had 4 RBIs, and Riley Hudson, Camden Novak, and Nunley all drove in 3 runs for the 11-1 Bulldogs. Shenandoah's 1 run came from All-State Chase Ozenbaugh's solo home run. Lewis Cass scored 5 times in the 4th and beat Northwestern 7-3. Deegan Helmley hit his 3rd home run of the season and his 2nd in the last 3 games for 9-4 Northwestern. Cowan scored at least 3 runs in every inning and beat Seton Catholic 19-1 in 5 innings. Chase Matson had a couple of doubles and drove in 5 runs for 6-4 Cowan. Burris won for the 3rd time in its last 4 games, 16-6 over Anderson Prep. After ABA scored twice in the 1st inning, Burris answered with 7 of its own. The Owls scored 5 times in the 2nd and won the game in 5 innings. Dane Adams was 3 for 4 with a triple, 2 runs, and 4 RBIs. And Solomon Malira had 2 hits, including a triple, and scored 3 times. Noblesville scored 13 times in its final 2 at-bats and beat Hamilton Heights 14-4 in 6 innings. Nick Hewlin homered for the Huskies, and Aiden Ramsey had 4 RBIs for the Millers. And some other scores of interest: Hamilton Southeastern beat Lawrence Central 11-1. It was Guerin 13, Heritage Christian 6. New Pal blanked Class A number 1 Knightstown 12-0. Zionsville got past Plainfield 4-3. It was Rochester 18, Northfield 7. Zach Parks had a grand slam for the Zebras. Peru beat Southwood 26-3. Mechanical 13, Whitco 6. And it was Clinton Prairie 12, Western Boone 1. Winchester beat Cambridge City 16-10. And Jay County beat Monroe Central 14-3. Carter Fugit had a double, a home run, and 5 RBIs for the Patriots. Unbeaten Pendleton Heights entered the latest coaches poll at number 9 in Class 4A. Penn is at the top of the poll, followed by Fishers, Homestead, Center Grove, Lake Central, Westfield, Avon, and Crown Point. And 3A, Andrean remains number 1, followed by South Bend, St. Joseph, and Hanover Central. New Pal is 5th and Western 7th. LaPel is up to number 4 and Eastern up to number 6 in the latest 2A poll. Bar Reeve is still number 1, followed by Evansville, Mater Dei, and Rochester. Central Catholic is 7th, Shenandoah 10th. Alexandria received votes. Knightstown is number 1 and Rossville number 3 in Class A. Monroe Central and Clinton Prairie received votes. And Pendleton Heights is also number 12 in this week's Indiana Prep Baseball Single Class Top 25 poll. Penn is number 1, then Center Grove, Homestead, Fishers, and Crown Point. Westfield is 9th, Zionsville 13th, Carmel is number 16, and Noblesville number 17. We move to softball, where Kelsey Arms went 4 for 4 with a double and a home run and drove in 5 of Elwood's 14 runs and a 14-9 win over Tri-Central on Monday. Addie Mackey had 3 hits, including a double, and drove in 2 for Tri-Central. Pendleton Heights scored 4 times in the 5th inning and avenged an earlier 2-1 loss in the Madison County tournament with a 5-3 win at Frankton on Monday. Avery Miller was 2 for 3 and drove in 2, and Brinley Holden allowed just 1 earned run for the 7-8 Arabians. Maya Brooks had 2 hits and 2 RBIs for 6-3 Frankton. Tipton scored 16 times on 17 hits and beat Taylor 16-0. Chastity Keelish threw 5 one-hit innings and struck out 7, and provided her own offense by going 3 for 3 with 2 runs and 4 RBIs. The Blue Devils are now 4-8. Brooklyn Nash threw 4 one-hit shutout innings, and Mississinawa beat Marion 11-0. Gina Kaus, Parker Machette, and Amaya Parr Inman each had 2 RBIs for the Indians, who are now 7-2 and have won 5 of their last 6. Riley Young allowed just 1 run on 5 hits and struck out 9 as Hagerstown beat LaPel 7-1. Carly Jennings had a double and scored LaPel's only run on Addison Bodenhorn's RBI single in the 7th. LaPel is 11-3. Hagerstown is now 8-1. Cameron Roten homered in the bottom of the 8th to continue one of the best games of the season so far, but Yorktown came away with the win by scoring twice in the top of the 9th. Claire Hazen had a double and scored 3 times for 8-2 Yorktown. Lily Cash also homered for the Huskies, who are now 8-5. Gracie Hines threw a 1-hitter, and Lexi D'Angelo homered twice, and Mount Vernon routed Delta 13-0. Devin Jaycox allowed just 1 hit in her shutout performance in Westell's 17-0 win over Muncie Central. Jaycox also scored twice for the 8-3 Warriors. Jay County's 9-0 after beating Wapahani 19-2. The Patriots had 25 hits in the win. Laney Davis hit a 2-run homer in the 7th to lift Cass to a 5-4 win over Northwestern. Bailey Marcus homered, and Stevie Ray Hedges drove in a pair for 3-7 Northwestern. Sheridan scored 8 times in the first inning and won its first game of the season, 17-9 over Heron. Freshman Noah Adams was 5 for 5 with 3 doubles and scored 4 times for the Blackhawks. Some other scores of interest: New Pal beat Noblesville 6-3. It was Guerin 6, Warren Central 0. Cathedral beat Lawrence North 9-4. Zionsville topped Harrison 2-0. It was Shenandoah 3, Tri 2. Rossville beat Frankfort 37-8. And it was Tri-County 13, Clinton Prairie 6. Manchester beat Wabash 8-4. Rochester 17-1 over Northfield, and Whitco 5-0 over Mechanical in the Three Rivers Conference. Northeastern beat Richmond 19-0. It was Eastern Hancock 13-7 over Knightstown, and East Noble beat Huntington North 18-0. Alexandria is the new number 1 in the latest Softball Coaches Association poll released Monday. Following them is Andrean second and LaPel third. Madison Grant is ranked 6th. New Pal is the top of the 3A poll, with Roncalli second and Western third. Yorktown is 7th. Lake Central is the top team in Class 4A, and Tri the top team in Class A. 4A teams of note: Zionsville is 3rd, Noblesville 5th, and Hamilton Southeastern 9th. In girls tennis, Frankton is 7-1 after beating Anderson 5-0. The Eagles dropped just 3 total games and won 6-0, 6-0 at number 1 singles with Lainey Hamaker, at number 2 singles with Sloan Harrison, and at number 2 doubles with Addie Moore and Haley Harrison. Tipton swept Taylor with 5 straight set matches. The Blue Devils dropped just 15 total games, and Avery Bittner won 6-0, 6-0 at number 2 singles. Eastern swept Madison Grant Monday with a pair of 6-0, 6-0 wins, a 6-0, 6-1 win, and a retirement victory. Blackford defeated Randolph Southern 3-2 with wins at both double spots and number 2 singles, where Evelyn Goley won in straight sets, including a 7-4 win in the second straight tiebreaker. Both doubles teams, Jessica Brinkeroff and Lordy Heil at number 1, and Allison Henderson and Carly Pitts at number 2, won 6-0, 6-0. Marion dropped a tough 3-2 decision to Fort Wayne Canterbury Monday without star Shaylee Castaneda. Ava Maroney won at number 1 singles 6-1, 6-2, and the Giants' number 1 doubles team of Abby Nadeau and Nyla Hubert won 7-6, 6-3. Mount Vernon won the Hancock County Championship by 7 points over New Pal. Greenfield Central was 3rd and Eastern Hancock 4th. Reigning County Player of the Year Kylie Brandis and both Marauders double team went unbeaten in county matches. Delta beat Newcastle in an HHC match 5-0, and it was North Central 3, Noblesville 2. Bella Duncan and the number 1 doubles team of Megan Rowley and Whitney Nelson were the winners for the Millers. On the local golf courses, Jet Hyatt shot a career best 33, easily good enough for medalist honors, and Frankton shot a 152 in a dual win over Anderson at Meadowbrook. Reed Utterback shot a 38, Ryder Shepard a 40, and Isaac Fair a 41 for the Eagles. You'll rarely see a 3-way match this competitive. Monday at Green Acres, it was Western 165, Tipton 165, and Northwestern 167. The Panthers were the winner with the best 5th golfer. Tipton's Preston Lancaster is the medalist with a 37, and all 5 Northwestern golfers shot a 45 or better, led by Hudson Whaley's 40. LaPel shot a 145 in a 3-way match with Mission Christian Academy and I-Town Prep. At Edgewood, 3 Bulldogs shot a match best 36, Maverick Beeson, Gavin Hutton, and Crawford Douglas, with Jade Swanson just a shot behind them. Eastern won a 3-way meet at Alexandria Monday with a team round of 176. Tri-Central was second with a 183, and the host Tigers shot a 186. Tri-Central had the top 2 golfers. Tanner England was the medalist with a 40, and Aiden Salisbury shot a 42. Sam Torrivo and Gabe Gomez led Eastern with 44s. Clinton Prairie beat Western Boone and Sheridan in a 3-way at Cool Lake. Prairie's Rhett Whitlock shot a 39 and was medalist. That was his personal best round. Luke Inman led the Blackhawks with a 45. Mount Vernon beat Greenfield Central, and Mount Vernon's Owen Doherty was the medalist with a 37. Shelbyville beat Rushville 195-232. Logan Tobian's 38 was the best round. And Monroe Central beat Jay County and Winchester in a 3-way at Hickory Hills. All 5 Bears shot 45 or better. In college softball, Taylor and St. Francis split a pair Monday in Upland. The Trojans won the opener 7-5, and Livy Lehman had a double and 2 RBIs to set a new single-season program record with her 65th RBI. St. Francis won the nightcap 14-5. In college golf, Indiana Wesleyan leads Marion by 4 strokes after 2 of 3 days at the Women's Crossroads Leagues Championship at Otter Creek in Columbus. Taylor is 3rd. Marion's McKendry Dressbaugh is the leader in the clubhouse at +4, 5 shots ahead of Kylie Purdy of Indiana Wesleyan and 8 strokes ahead of Taylor Shane Lim. Midway leads the River States Women's Golf Championship after 2 of 3 rounds, 4 strokes ahead of St. Mary's. IUK is 5th at plus 58 after 2 days. Midway's Marissa Phillips is plus 13 and leads IUK's Haley Stegeman at the top of the leaderboard by 3 strokes. Eastern Michigan took the lead after 2 of 3 days at the MAC Men's Golf Championships in Grove City, Ohio. The Eagles lead Kent State by 4 strokes and Northern Illinois by 11. Ball State is 4th. Avery Mahoney is tied for 9th for Ball State on the individual leaderboard at -1, 9 strokes behind Eastern Michigan leader Rory McDonald O'Brien, who is -10 and had an hole-in-one on Monday. Looking ahead to Tuesday's local highlights, of course, I mentioned the Pacers play at 6 o'clock. In the CIC, both baseball and softball, Madison Grant is at Alexandria, and a big one. Frankton hosts Oak Hill, Elwood is at Mississinawa, and Blackford goes to Eastbrook. Also on the baseball fields, 11-1 LaPel is at University. 4-8 Hamilton Heights welcomes 8-5 Logansport. And Pendleton Heights goes to Mount Vernon for a big Hoosier Heritage contest. LaPel is at Mount Vernon, and Hamilton Heights goes to Northwestern for a couple of good local softball games Tuesday. And on the track, Frankton and Alexandria are at Elwood. Madison Grant hosts Blackford and Oak Hill. And Pendleton Heights holds its invitational for the girls. Frankton is at Tipton on the tennis courts, and Oak Hill is at Blackford, and Frankton at Tipton in golf.
Chicken jockey.
Thanks so much, Emma. In college baseball, 23-21, IU is at 14-28, Evansville at 6. 24-17, Notre Dame, which has won 8 in a row, goes to Purdue to face the 25-17 Boilermakers at 7. And in college softball, the Crossroads League tournament gets underway with 30-20 Taylor against 27-23 Spring Arbor. Conference champion Indiana Wesleyan gets underway in the conference tournament on Wednesday. And Ball State goes to Ohio. The Bobcats lead Central Michigan by a game at the top of the MAC with 1 regular season series left in the year. Ball State is currently 4th and can mathematically still win the regular season title. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thanks for listening. If you enjoy the Central Indiana Sports Report, please share it with your friends and family. The Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.
I'm not even late. Let's go.